Welcome to the Crossroads, where we honor the duality of life, embracing the darkness, and loving the light. Together we'll explore spiritual philosophy, mythology, shamanic practices, witchcraft, and more. Join me as we journey through the mysteries of life, death, and everything in between. Before we begin, a quick disclaimer. This podcast is for informational and entertainment purposes only and not professional advice. Please use your own discretion and enjoy the show. Hi, welcome to the Crossroads. My name is Angela Rajniganda and I'm the owner of Arcana Apothecary. So today I want to talk all about past lives, parallel lives, and future lives. But the thing is that past lives are not truly past at all. It's not linear in the way that we've been taught. People often think about past lives as if their soul incarnates for a lifetime and then dies, crosses over, and comes back for another life, and then dies and crosses over and over and over and over again. But it's more like all the lifetimes, past, present, and future, are all happening simultaneously. Every single one of them is moving forward all at the same time. It's more like your consciousness that hops from one to another and decides what it chooses to experience at any given time. It's maybe more like existing in multiple dimensions at the same time than it is past or future. And this also means that the next lifetime you experience after your current one may not be directly after it. You can have your next lifetime be far in the past or even far into the future. It's just not linear in that way. Like if you were born in the 1920s, you live your life, and then you die maybe in the year 2000, and then you reincarnate immediately again in the year 2000, live that life and die in the year 2090, something like that. It's not as linear like that. When you pass away in this lifetime, the one that follows that you experience next can be back in the 1800s. It can be in year 4000. It could be anywhere. It's like there's just an infinite number of versions of you, and you're all constantly and simultaneously living these cycles of death and rebirth all over the place. Death and rebirth, all over the place, all at the same time. It can be a little hard to explain, so I did come up with this little analogy, and it's not perfect, but I think it gives a decent understanding of how this works. So I want you to imagine your soul as kind of this big pot of soup, okay? And from this big pot, you scoop out several, maybe an infinite number of bowls of soup. Each bowl of soup representing a lifetime, okay? And each one is a distinct separate bowl of soup, but every bowl still comes from the same pot. It's the exact same soup. In the bowl is the exact same soup that's in the pot. Same flavor, carrying the exact same essence. And while the soul is vast, the entire essence of your soul, or the essence of the entire pot of soup, exists in every single lifetime, every single bowl. What's in the bowl is exactly the same as what's in the pot. It's kind of like the expression that one drop of water contains the whole ocean. Every single version of you contains the entire soul, even though each lifetime expresses different aspects of it. Now, when one lifetime ends, or you pass away, that bowl of soup gets poured back into the pot, reuniting with your soul, your higher self, right? And this includes its experiences, its lessons, the energy, all blend back into the whole, into the pot. Then when a new life is created, another bowl is scooped out of that pot. That bowl may contain some of what existed in that previous bowl, but not all. And it also may contain soup that was not part of that bowl that was left in the pot. Maybe this one had previous lifetimes, previous bowls, right? So in this new life, you may carry forth aspects from that previous bowl, but you may also carry aspects from other bowls that were left still in the pot, other lifetimes. You are never just the exact same bowl of soup that was poured back into the pot, right? So you don't live a life and then die and then come back and then die and then come back. Every single bowl is different and unique. One bowl may have more, for the soup analogy, may have more beans and another may have more of the carrots, but at its core, it is the exact same soup, right? Does that kind of make sense? I know it's kind of a lot, and it's far more complex than simple life and death. It's very, very layered. And so let's talk about these lives a little bit. What kind of lives can we have? And the type of lives that we live is not just limited to being humans in the here and now. Some of us have lived lives on other planets and other worlds and other dimensions, some as animals, some as elements, some as trees, spirits, rocks, and of course across many different places and eras here on Earth. And since time isn't linear, you could be living a life in ancient Egypt right now. You could be living another life far, far into the future right now, all at once. And some of these other versions of you can even act as spirit guides for you now. Through my work, I've been shown lifetimes I've had in ancient times, lifetimes I've had in future times, other planets. I've had lifetimes as animals. I was once shown a lifetime where I was just a vapor. I was just this vapor. I had no thought, I had no emotions, and I just existed. I was shown a life as fire, where I was fire. I was shown parallel lives, other dimensional lives, and kind of alternate timelines. So let's talk about how these other lives affect you now in this lifetime. Back to that soup analogy, when a lifetime dies and that bowl is poured back into the pot, along with all its experiences and its lessons, and then another bowl is scooped out, another lifetime, that bowl may contain, like I said, some aspects of that previous bowl, that previous life, but not all, and it may contain other soul aspects from the rest of the pot in other lifetimes. And some of these traits, some of these experiences may carry over, some more strongly than others. And some of the things we may carry over from one life to another can be traumas that leave an imprint on the soul. It can be unfinished lessons and unresolved trauma. It can even reflect in your current likes and dislikes or aversions to certain things. It can surface as phobias in this lifetime that have no reasoning in this lifetime. It can manifest as gift and abilities that show up in this lifetime as natural talents. And it can even come through as physical scars or markings or physical features that can sometimes reflect who you were in a past life. And aside from the traits and experience that we carry over from past lives, what happens when we meet a person that we have known in a past life? When we meet souls that we have known in other lifetimes, the connection is just undeniable. And this person may not play the same role that they once did. Your lover from one lifetime may show up as a sibling or a child or a best friend or even a rival in this lifetime. But the recognition is powerful. That pull is there. And sometimes these connections can be great blessings. It can be reuniting with a loved one from the past as friends or as family members or even as lovers. But other times it can be more of a karmic rebalancing. It can perhaps be like your mother from past lifetime reincarnating as your child in this lifetime, reversing the roles so that both souls are each able to have that experience. Or this could be a person that treated you terribly in a past life, and they may come back in this one as an opportunity for you to correct it, for you to finally conquer something that you weren't able to before. The challenge is with meeting someone from a past life, especially if you're highly intuitive and are able to see these types of things like I can, is that sometimes that draw can be very, very strong. And say you meet someone who was a lover in a past life, and maybe you start dating this person in this life. That instant connection and that remembrance will be so, so strong. It'll be so all-encompassing that it's so easy to forget that they're a different person now. They may be of the same soul, but they are a whole new person who have had all their current life experiences. They may be emotionally damaged or just very different than who they were in a past life. And that could be a hard thing to accept. I think sometimes this is one of the reasons why people stay in toxic and abusive relationships much longer than they should, because there is a deep, deep soul connection there. And this can also create things like power struggles. Like in an earlier example, if your child was actually your mother in a past life, that child can subconsciously pick up on that energy, and it can create a lot of power struggles, a lot of butting heads. But honestly, this happens all the time. It seems like we are constantly reincarnating with the same people or the same soul groups over and over again in different ways and in different dynamics. And this is likely because of soul contracts that we have with these people or these souls, agreements that we made on the other side to help each other evolve and grow as a soul. And so why does this all really matter? What can we actually do with this understanding about our soul's many lives? Some reasons you may want to look into your past, present, and parallel lives could be to heal traumas, past life traumas that are still affecting you now. It can be to understand relationship dynamics that are giving you trouble in this lifetime. It could be to learn more about your soul's natural gifts, abilities, and strengths and how to draw on that now. And you can even call on these other versions of yourself from other lifetimes for help. Versions of you that have maybe been through or know how to do what it is that you're trying to go through now in this lifetime. And just as you can call on them, they can call on you in the same way. There may be other versions of you from other lifetimes that are calling on you to ask for your healing and to ask for your strength and your clarity to help them and to help you all heal as a soul. Or you may just want to learn more about who you are on a soul level, why you have the interests you do, the dislikes you do, the fears you do, if maybe these did originate outside of this current lifetime. And you may want to explore these other lifetimes to better understand karmic patterns that may be playing out lifetime after lifetime and learn how to finally resolve that. And sometimes there are past lives that just come forth to be recognized and cleared out. So if you do want to begin exploring past lives, some ways to start may be, if it's in your practice, to practice journeying and meditation. These can be very effective ways for exploring past lives. This is my primary way. And you can do this on your own or even with guided meditations. And if not, you can just start by asking that these other lives be shown to you. Maybe in your dreams, or maybe different signs will just start popping up in your day-to-day life. Maybe you'll start seeing ancient Egypt stuff just everywhere, or a type of animal, or a certain country or culture, something like that. Or you can even just take a look at your life, take a look at your interests, your hobbies, your fears, and these things can all be traced back to past lifetimes. You can also get a reading with a skilled practitioner like myself who is particularly skilled in past life work, or even doing something like hypnosis or past life regression can be very effective. Now, I thought I'd let you in on just a few of my personal tips and tricks to past life work that I've learned throughout my years of practice. Number one is to just use basic shielding and energetic protection before journeying and meditating about past lives because you don't want to bring back any of that energies with you. And number two, when you begin exploring past lives, I would suggest that you begin just by asking to view the lives that are most affecting your current life right now. These could be traumas that are ready to be healed. These could be gifts that are ready to be recognized because we all likely have hundreds, if not thousands of other lifetimes, and you likely don't need to know and understand all of them. So just ask what's important to be seen right now. And number three, when journeying and exploring these past lives, you can play around with how you experience and view that past life. One way is that you can ask to experience it firsthand, as if you were back in that body again, living that life again, experiencing it all over again. Another way is that you can ask to view it like a movie, so that you're separate from it and you're just seeing what happened. This can be useful if you're trying to look into traumas or how you died in that past life, something that you maybe don't necessarily want to experience or feel again. Or you can even ask to have a conversation with that past life version of you, almost like they're a separate person, and just talk about what happened in that life. Ask for guidance, things like that. Number four, I would say to pay attention to how your body feels when you're viewing past lives. Sometimes you can experience physical sensations like pain or pressure, warmth or chills, or just sensations in different parts of the bodies. And this can be clues that indicate information like your cause of death or things like that. Number five is to look for repeating patterns in your current lifetime that may trace back to some of these past lifetimes or karmic cycles. Number six is to pay attention to little signs and symbols because it may not always come in as a very clear movie, I guess. Sometimes you'll just see colors or landscapes or objects and trust that these will hold meaning too. And number seven is to use a journal. Write it down. Write down the impressions you get from these journeys. Write down your dreams, these flashes of images or memories. Even if it doesn't make sense now, it often connects for you later. And number eight, don't chase drama. Many people get caught up in wanting to be someone famous in a past life, someone powerful, but the ordinary past lives are just as valuable, if not more sometimes. And even if you were maybe someone famous or well-known in a past life, it doesn't necessarily mean as much as you may like it to. Which kind of brings me to number 9. While it may be interesting and helpful to understand past lives, what matters is who you are in this present moment, meaning your current experience. You don't want to get too hung up on who you were in a past life and get stuck there. You don't want to try to recreate that lifetime or be that person again or overly identify with it. It's cool to see and to understand how vast we are, but you always have to come back home. You always want to come back to who you are now, because you are here right now to have this current experience, and you don't want to lose sight of that. Number 10. Now, while meeting people who you may have had past lives with, or you suspect you have, you still must take these people at face value. Who they are here and now, not who they were then, not who you feel they could be or who they have the potential to be. Just because someone was a wonderful friend or lover in a past life doesn't mean that's who they are now. And number 11, be patient. Sometimes what you see or observe can be confusing. Don't jump to conclusions. And if something just isn't making sense, give it time. Maybe walk away for a while, let it go, and the answers may appear to you in other ways. For example, I was once shown a lifetime that needed to be healed and released, and I'd already been having glimpses of this lifetime. I knew I was a voodoo practitioner in that lifetime, but whenever I would shower and I'd wrap my hair up in a towel, I would see her, I would see me in this other lifetime. And in that lifetime, I would always wear my hair wrapped up in a scarf. And I wore these big earrings with like shells and things on them. And I can always remember just how beautiful I felt when I had my hair all wrapped up like that. And it was somewhere in the Caribbean. It was maybe Haiti. And I was a young woman, maybe in my 20s or my 30s. But now I was being shown more information about this because there was something that needed to be healed and released. So when I sat down to really view this lifetime, I saw myself as this woman standing in front of a man sitting in a chair. And I was holding his head back and forcibly pouring liquid down his throat very aggressively. And it was very dramatic. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I asked, did I kill this man? And I got yes. And then I asked, did I poison him? And I got yes. And I'm thinking, oh my God, that's so awful. And then I went straight to work to try to begin clearing this and healing this. But it just wasn't working. It wasn't connecting, and I didn't know what to do. So I just left it for a while. And a while went by with me just thinking that I murdered this guy in a past life. And I had then started to see like little images like on my Facebook feed or online, wherever, just constantly about this type of fish. And I can't remember what type it was now, but it was a kind of fish that's completely edible if prepared correctly. But it contains some kind of gland or something that if it's nicked, then it will release a deadly toxin into the flesh of the fish. And when I saw that, it all came rushing back. All the memories came rushing back. And so what had actually happened in this lifetime is that I was preparing this fish for a family member. And he wasn't my father, but he was an older male family member, like an uncle or something. And I had prepared this fish a million times. I knew how to do it. But this time I made a mistake and it poisoned him. And when I saw what was happening, I tried to force him to drink a bunch of alcohol of some kind. I was trying to make him vomit, but it wouldn't work and he did die. And I guess in that lifetime, I'd never forgiven myself for that. And that was what was ready to be healed and cleared. And so when I was asking, well, did I kill this man? I got yes. And did I poison him? Well, yes. But what I couldn't see is the whole story. I couldn't see that it was an accident. And because of that, I was going about trying to heal it and clear it all wrong. And, so I just advise you to be patient with what you see. Sometimes you need to take some time, don't jump to conclusions too quickly. And number 12, my last tip, don't be judgmental, because we have all had lifetimes where we were bad, horrible, evil people or beings. And that's just how we learn. That's how our soul learns, by experiencing all aspects of existence. So don't feel bad about yourself or think that something's wrong with you if you do view yourself and you were a murderer, you were evil, you were whatever. So I want to give you just a few questions that may be helpful when exploring past lives. You may ask, does this past life need to be cleared, healed, embraced, or simply witnessed? This will help you to understand what you need to do with this information. You may ask, what aspects of this life are affecting your current lifetime? You may ask, what lessons was I meant to learn in that lifetime? Because if you fail to learn them then, that might be going on right now. You may want to ask, is there a gift, a strength, or a talent that I can reclaim from this life drawing it into this one. You may want to ask, is there any unresolved karma here and how I can begin to balance that? You can ask, are you still carrying any grief or guilt or fear from this experience from that lifetime? And it's good to ask, how can I integrate the wisdom of this version of me into who I am now? Exploring past, parallel, or future lives, and again, they're all really just parallel, but calling it past and future does help us just understand a little bit better. But when exploring these lives, it reminds us that we are so much more than this one experience. Every version of us adds to this bigger story of who we are on a soul level, carrying wisdom and lessons and even the wounds that shape us now. But the real power is in how we use that knowledge in the present. This lifetime, the one you're living in this current reality. So honor the insights from the others, take what helps you grow, but also stay rooted in who you are today. And with that, I want to thank you for joining me. Let me know how you like this episode. It's kind of a complicated topic, and I hope I explained it well. If you do have any questions, please let me know in the comments. Or if you'd like to book a reading to explore some of these past lives, you can do it on the website at arcanapothecary.com. And I look forward to talking with you. See you next time. Thank you for joining me at The Crossroads, which is brought to you by Arcana Apothecary. Visit me at arcanapothecary.com and connect on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so we can continue this journey together. Remember, there's a time for love and light, and there's a time for raising hell. Until next time, I'll meet you at The Crossroads.